If you open the average student's notebook, you will usually find an unstructured wall of text. Every inch of the page is crammed with rapidly scribbled sentences. This layout creates high cognitive overload, making it the equivalent of playing your academic life on hard mode. This setup contrasts the standard approach on the left with the highly structured three-zone framework used by top-tier Japanese students. This methodology is built on the idea that consistent academic performance is a result of utilizing superior data architecture rather than relying on inherent intellect. Before we begin the setup, pause this video and gather 4 tools: a grid-lined notebook, a ruler, 2 pens of contrasting colors, and your current source material. By gathering these specific tools, you are moving away from passive reading and starting to build a mechanical advantage over your peers. This system originated at Tokyo University. While known for deep traditions, it is also an unmatched engine for modern academic output. To replicate this, start with a blank grid page. Draw a vertical line down the exact middle. Next, draw a horizontal line intersecting that split, 2 inches from the bottom. Now assign functions. Left is facts, right synthesis, and bottom summary. These rigid physical boundaries require you to process and triage information in real time, rather than mindlessly transcribing a lecture. Focus your initial data capture entirely on the left column, or Zone 1. In this zone, you must only record key nouns and verbs. Avoid writing full sentences, as this forces you to identify the core components of the material. As shown here, the result should be a tight, bulleted list of isolated terms, while the right-hand column remains empty. The primary failure point of this system is expanding the facts section too wide. Cross the middle line, and you fall back into the habit of passive transcription. That empty space on the right side of the page is not wasted paper. It is the most important part of the system, reserved for the next critical step. To begin connecting these raw data points, switch to your secondary pen color. Draw physical arrows from the facts in Zone 1, crossing the vertical border into the blank space of Zone 2. At the tip of every arrow, write a brief insight explaining why that fact matters, translating raw data into applied knowledge. Now, move your attention to the bottom boundary, Zone 3. Review the connections mapped above, and distill the entire page into a single summary sentence within this bottom box. This physical movement of forcing data across these rigid spatial boundaries requires you to physically recode information at each step. By manipulating the data to fit each new zone, you create stronger memory associations than you would through passive review alone. In this system, you have only successfully studied the material once the data has migrated from the facts in Zone 1 down to the summary in Zone 3. Even well-synthesized notes are subject to the forgetting curve, the mathematical reality that information is lost over time if it is not reinforced. To beat this curve, we add the final element, a spaced repetition tracker. Spaced repetition is the practice of reviewing material at increasing intervals to improve long-term retention. Go to the top right corner of your grid page. Draw 3 checkboxes and label them Day 1, Day 3, and Day 7. Skipping this tracker is a fatal flaw. Notes without built-in review triggers often become forgotten archives. Embedding the review schedule directly onto the data ensures the notebook functions as an active engine that dictates exactly when you need to re-engage with the material. This is the final structural asset, a fully populated page with bulleted facts, red synthesis arrows, a summary, and a completed review tracker. You now have a system for targeted data capture and long-term memory maintenance, replacing the habit of disorganized transcription. Use this exact physical template for your very next 30-minute study block. Once you finish the page, your first protocol is to review the material and check off the Day 1 box exactly 24 hours from now. Elite academic performance is not a genetic trait. It is a mechanical system that you now physically possess.